Welcome back to Dota 2 Asia Championships 2018, presented by Perfect World. We're into our tiebreakers here on the final day of the group stage in Group A. 5 teams have tied up, and we are now well inside those tiebreakers. We're going to get straight into it. The draft is already live, so we're going to drop you into that right away. We've also had a little bit of a change back here on the panel as well. We've got Blitz and Cap who've rejoined us from doing monstrous amounts of casting. How you doing, boys? You're good? Yeah? Ready for some tiebreaker action?
Very excited.
All right, cool. Newbie versus Optic is next up. Both these two teams have lost their opening games. Will, are you still with us?
What's up?
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Love you, buddy.
I'm good. I'm just sick, but it's all fine. We're all gonna be
still
okay.
Plenty more Dota to watch.
Yeah, it's a long day.
It is a long day, but we'll get
Dota's
through
a good cure.
It's supposed to be the short day too.
This was supposed to be a short day.
Damn you, Group A.
I think Winter even planned for some food and stuff with
Honestly,
friends. That's not going to work.
I hate Keen.
You also hate Optic.
They had one job to do. They lost.
You know, they secured a really short day for themselves. That was already going to be a short day. Like, they're probably out eating hot pot right now, just like laughing, as they stream the game.
They had a short day
Actually,
either way.
Do you know at the start of the draft, they were all laughing inside their booth, right? And I said to Jack, I wonder what they're laughing about. And he's like, and he basically dubbed them, and he was like, ha ha ha, these fools, they're going to go through tiebreakers. How right he was as well at that point. Little did he know he was actually being an oracle. We're into the draft then, and we have an SK pick for Optic first off. They've lost their opening one here, as have a Liquid in this particular tiebreaker set as well. So very interesting that these two teams will, who really you fancy to get out of this, wouldn't you?
In the position that they were in at the start of the day to the end of the day, they controlled their fate all the way through. A lot of teams didn't. They were like anxiously watching. They're like, please. And now, all of a sudden, TNC, who were just like, I thought were dunzos, they might straight up win their group. This is the funniest situation to me. They might straight up win their group because Keen took it away from them, and Liquid decided to do Rubik mid. And this might determine stuff? Are you telling? I can't even believe it. That's ridiculous to me.
Hey, Newbie did their best. I mean, they pretty much came back from just about on the verge of mega creeps against Liquid.
They did.
Yes.
So... You know, here they are. The last game against TNC just now, they kind of got dumpstered. Yeah. So they've got to pick up the piece a little bit. I like Peter's drafting in the sense that he always has these like very, I would say, peculiar bans. Like sometimes he just decides to ban one guy out, another guy out entirely, which isn't that unusual in and of itself. But here, like you see, like the Underlord first phase ban against Newbie, which is kind of like a man. This hero is so important to you guys. I'm just gonna get rid of it. And but they do get their Naga though, and Newbie with Naga, I think. Has been very scary over the last few months. Teams generally do not give up this hero to Kaka. He tends to play it a little bit more defensively, I think, in itemization, more likely to get the Glimmer Cape Ags type of build up instead of the Meteor Hammer. So that's one thing to keep an eye out on.
I mean, this is the combination that won them Genting, right?
Yeah.
We were telling people, like, stop giving them Naga Siren. They got Naga Siren all the way through the tournament. So
And the Disruptor, frankly.
yeah, they got that duo far too many times.
Those have been first two banned by every team for the last 4 games against them.
And it's got to feel a little awkward playing this Phantom Lancer against the setup that is Naga Siren Disruptor, right? Because you're not going to have the opportunity to doppelganger.
10 seconds remaining.
It kind of goes both ways, though. The Disruptor versus PL matchup. Yeah, it brings you back, but you can also doppel.
I mean, he also, again, if it depends on when you doppel, right? If you use it to like kind of set up or get into fights, then yeah, you can just be put in the Static Storm and have quite a bit of difficulty after the glimpse. But
see, I'm specifically talking about Sleep, Static Storm, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that play.
I mean, hopefully your PL is not in a position where he's like, you'd have to like smoke into that. Hopefully you don't just get caught into those kinds of combos. Something would have to go horribly wrong where
5 seconds remaining.
that's just allowed to happen to you straight up.
And he might get a BKB later on into the game.
Yeah.
It's an early Brood ban.
Yeah. Very possible that Optic can pick up a 4-position Broodmother. Maybe their idea of what they're going to run against the Phantom Lancer leaves them exposed. Maybe like the
Brood?
Viper or something.
You mean 4th pick?
Fourth pick Broodmother.
I was like, they do 4-position Brood? That'd be crazy.
It runs around with webs and right-clicks people.
They did that in Dota 1.
when Kuro played it.
About as useful as the Pango for.
Hey,
Hey,
Yapsor owned.
he did own.
He actually,
Yapsor
he
owned
went
Kuro,
insane.
not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Was Kuro's Pango not great?
He was a
It wasn't. It wasn't
5-position
terrible,
Pango.
but it was not great.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it was more a 5, obviously.
Gyro versus Phantom Lancer. Pretty classic.
Yeah,
10
Newbie
seconds
really
remaining.
mixing things up with the draft here. The Underlord Khan, I wouldn't be
5
surprised to see a
seconds
tide coming out with the next pick. But I mean, why change this if this kind of bread and butter lineup has just been so successful for you, and you get the Naga to play around with?
And it works against what Optic have opened with, so. Take away Mugi's Radiance Lifestealer against the Phantom Lancer. There is still the Aban that they can pick up as well as another Radiance hero since their offlane is still open if they don't want the Tide.
Yeah, we've seen them take a bit of Lone Druid as well to kind of, again, with like the lanes, you can swap them around. You can play it a couple of different ways to either add to a push or just get that Radiance yourself and have better scaling split push. And of course, like it's a hard lane to gank, hard lane to kill. So
Newbies, turn to pick.
there's one of Peter's signature heroes that he's played quite a bit and always seems to be in very good positioning. I've heard Peter described as a type of player where it's like he may not always be directing the action and rotations himself, but when a core wants to play a
10
certain way or
seconds
has an idea of
remaining.
what they want to do, Peter's very good at kind of adapting himself to that. That's why he seems to be in position all the
5
time on a hero
seconds
like Witch
remaining.
Doctor. Get a lot of value out of those casks.
Witch Doctor's probably one of the best 5s right now too. At just like pure lane zone. Because the meta has switched to going for almost pure 2-1-2s instead of going for tri-lanes, you're put into a position. Like the only teams I see do tri-lanes anymore are Chinese ones. And so if you're going for a 2-1-2, you need a support that's strong enough that can just straight up zone out the offlaner. And Witch Doctor's so good at doing that because he's got kill potential at all times with just going like even the single level of Maledict is enough to pressure.
Even on like beefy offlaners, he's able to do that.
What happened to the
Team pick.
poor Bane? He dropped off real hard.
Bane?
Yeah.
Saw it first 2 days here, but
Single
Not much
target
sense.
versus like tons of AoE.
Yeah, all this team fight focus.
Yeah, Bane's better in positions where he has to fight the other 4 position. But not really the case here.
Dragonite versus the Puck. Another classic matchup here. A newbie focusing a lot on their initiation and team fight with a lot of AoE damage.
I'm pretty sure that's a... I think that's going to be a Puck
10
offlane though.
seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think KP has played this much recently at all, but
5
I
seconds
don't think
remaining.
that they would want to run this mid with the gyro.
Unless they set up some sort of aggro lane and then give themselves an offlaner that is more
Dire team
important,
back.
that is worth a last pick.
You'd have to be like a carry offlaner though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you just allow...
Some sort of like Legion Commander type hero or something.
yeah, it's
No.
KP's 4th most played in the offlane.
Maybe.
He does play it, but I
Yep.
think it's been a bit since he has run it.
10 seconds remaining.
So we're gonna go with mid for now. What is
5
what is a mid
seconds
hero that newbie could grab? Be good here.
Not sure. It could always be an offlane DK too for Optic.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to show first.
Tell you what they have liked running with the Naga and the Disruptor in the past is the Medusa.
Hey, it's doable in a game like this. What do you think Optic bans here? Like OD or something?
Yeah, I was thinking about OD just because you have Dragonite. It's probably one of the better later game carries that is left.
Might ban something like a Viper as well.
Aren't you happy though to see a Viper if you're PL?
Yeah,
Yanni seems to have this theory that the Nether Toxin is quite strong against you. But
That was like DC picked Viper, so Fnatic just straight up PL'd them,
yeah,
and you just
Yeah.
won.
yeah. The matchup was really that was the Abed versus Brile, right?
Yeah, they said.
Yeah.
I think they said that they didn't think that game was winnable as a result.
Better
Shut
for
up.
the
Okay,
game.
so
than
the
for the
SF,
lane
so the
itself.
OD is available if they want it now.
So they do think it is an offlane puck.
Yeah.
PPD thinks that SCCC wants a better hero in a game like this. I think
to
Puck,
agree because they don't really run it on SCC or Mugi. And when they do play it, it is usually KP that takes it.
I don't really like SCCC on heroes like Puck.
It feels like they don't have enough longevity to take advantage of SCC and what he does for
I
you.
think this because they thought it would be like a Pugna or something for SCCC. So
Ah,
I like that Nyx pick a lot. I think it counters a lot of the heroes that newbie potentially want to go. Like, I thought Storm would have been actually really nice here
10 seconds
as an option,
remaining.
but now you take that away.
then we also talked about the OD. That's hard. You said
Yeah.
Pugna, Jack. All these heroes are being taken out. Or made a lot harder by a Nyx Assassin pickup. The Deuce even.
Yeah.
You want a
Mana burn.
hero, I think you want a hero that you just group up, take fights, and take the fight into Optic.
I mean,
Just-
if you're going to play the early game, you need an objective taker, right?
Yeah. You need something that can hit towers too. I would have said Sniper, but then you're on like some kind of weird timer against a PL.
Yeah,
That's
Phantom
kind of
Lancer running
Yeah.
at you, Sand King, DK.
they just suffered through a loss with that sniper as well. So.
Oh, it's a TB.
Oh, the TB versus Phantom Lancer matchup.
Yeah. I like that hero a lot here.
Yeah.
So it is KP Puck off lane. They needed more of a hitter, and that's what we said. It's like if you just go for something that can push, largely ignore the Nyx's impact. And Optic are learning from their previous matches. They grabbed the Nyx themselves. They got crushed by that hero.
Yeah, TNC destroyed them.
Yeah, that it's coming back.
What goes around comes around. Prediction time, Cap.
I
Where are we
don't know.
going
The
here?
Nyx Assassin is really good versus those first four heroes. But I don't know. I'm just going to say, you know what? Screw the analysis. I'm just going to say I think Optic's tilted. They almost win from top of their groups. Now they're actually down one game. Newbie.
Okay. Mental game is part of it as well.
I'm not going to pick against the KP Naga till I see convincing evidence otherwise. So I'm going with newbie as well. Or sorry, the Kaka Naga.
Yes.
Okay.
And production.
I'm not. That's not me. That's Jack. I'm gonna go with Optic.
I was going to tell you.
I'm gonna go
There
Optic.
we
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It's because rather than just go down the
Yeah,
line
they
like
thought it was
normal
1, 2,
people.
3.
No, like normal people, Will passed it off to Jack. That's why.
I need.
You're just throwing
I need the
production
last.
right
I
now.
need the
Thanks,
last
Will.
pick.
Confusing them, Will.
I need the last pick. It's the only way that
Gotta
it works.
wait
for
the
me.
We gotta
last pick.
protect Blitz's pick. It makes sense. He'll carry
All
us.
right. Okay. 2 for one and 1 for the other. Time to head over to the commentators for another tiebreaker game. Big match this one. Optic need to get the train back on the rails. Can they do so? Let's find out with Toby, 1 and Kyle.
Yeah, let's see if it can handle like its own rails. But you were kind of you thought Optic kind of went off the rails a little bit when you saw them not ban Naga and Disruptor combination against Newbie at the very start. It seems to be the dream for Newbie to play Comfort Zone.
Do you know what Newbie picked the last time they won a LAN?
What-
Pretty
what-
much every game.
Yeah, I think I do.
It was Naga Disruptor.
I know.
And you know what?
No.
It's 2-something months later. You know what they're still doing if it's available? They're picking Naga Disruptor. I got to go with my boy Cap. I think Optic's tilted, and I think Newbie's draft just has oodles and oodles of damage. I look at Optic. You have a Sand King, a Nyx, and a DK. And if they don't land a Maledict, who's killing things? With a song behind it, with the TB, with the it just seems like as long as Newbie doesn't get run over in lanes, I don't actually know how they ever lose a team fight.
See, I like. Isn't there a point when you could say like CC and C can get big enough where he'd be more of a problem for Newbie? Like, does that happen, or is there too much like CC against CC and C?
I mean, you have PyCat playing Dragon Knight. It just this whole draft is very confusing to me because I'll be honest, from watching the games Optic was winning in group stage, they were hiding CC and C a lot of the time on the Tinies and the Venos and relying on PyCat to play these carry heroes to take home the game, and now he's playing Dragon Knight.
He's playing the safe lane Dragon Knight too. They're putting the PL in towards the mid lane. So let's just let's have a look through our matchup. So SDTC, originally he was actually on the Gyrocopter, but Newbie have actually switched him now onto the Terrorblade. So small little switcheroo so we get our bearings. DCNC will be the PL, so it's Terrorblade versus PL on the mid. That puts down towards our bottom lane, KP Puck with Faith's Disruptor. They'll be going against Zai's Nyx Assassin. And then up towards the top, you'll have Mugi on the Gyrocopter, working with Karka's Naga Siren. Very well acclaimed, as Jack was saying, going against 33 on the SK. He has really been a highlight player for Optic, and he's going to work with PPD as the Witch Doctor. And already Pycat's walking. He's doing the long walk. He's going all the way down to bottom lane to come and join Zai.
Just immediately TPing out.
Yeah, KP is now, TP'd up towards the top. So lane switcheroo is incoming. Mugi's already on bottom, and now DK is going to TP back up to the top lane. All right, so the lanes will settle a little bit. Optic have 3 players up on top. Maldic to begin with, but 33 was not in range. It's a level 1 Burrow Strike without boots. The Sand King very rarely lands that unless he comes from Fog of War.
Indeed, and the lane swaps are good for Optic because they have the matchups they want now, but I'm just not sure if they'll be able to like zone out this Naga puck lane after they had such a lead. Pycat's still just level 1 as well.
Is it really the full matchups you want? It seems like Zai is going to have a nightmare on the bottom. Like, he's out of consumables already as the Styx Assassin. I know he's got like a good base
Is Zai
regen.
just off lane now? What happened?
Zai is now the 3 position. Well, DK was walking to bottom lane to be part of that. And then they bounced Pycat back up to the top with the TPs the second they realized that KP had lane rotated. So they're just playing full switcheroo. Zai is getting some CS in this lane, so that's not a bad thing. But they have no way to control, and Faith potentially can just zone him out, steal all the bounty runes. Yeah.
I don't mind the Nyx being the core because I think a Meteor Hammer timing, like if he gets ahead, the Nyx is the guy that can actually take over this game. And
here comes the SK. It just took a while for the rotation to come from 33 is all.
I mean, they just, I don't want to say Optics like lost or anything. Maybe they just take this game making me look stupid, but it just feels like they're thinking, it seems that they're unsure. And I can't think of any reason. I can't believe Pycat's playing Dragon Knight.
They're going to go first blood on Zai. Homing missiles on the way. They'll ensnare him to slow him down. 33. Oh, Burrow Strike wants to try and help out, but with the kinetic field already up, Zai has no way to run around. They just try and tank up the Rocket Barrage, but it won't work. Karka getting in front of 33. They'll go for more, as I think 33 understands that he is dead. Even with the 1 charge that's available in this Burrow Strike, 1 more attack will do it. Mugi will be the one to achieve it. And this is now 2-0 in favor of Newbie. These rotations from Optic were meant to help them, and it seems to have hurt them.
I mean, it's just they fell behind during them. Like, the whole time the Sand King is top, the Nyx can't really contest this lane too well. And now you have, like, 3 supports.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
Take a few breaths, Kyle. Take a few breaths. Just channel your inner NA Dota forums. And,
the problem is I think Optics got that covered for me. I don't know if me helping them channel more of it is going to do anything. It might just make things worse.
Faith actually just denied himself up. He was walking back to base, so he'll have a death timer for a little bit. He didn't spend his money before death, so I don't think it was intentional. But either way.
Yeah, it was on purpose.
Well,
give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
He's a TI winner. You don't die to neutrals, not on purpose.
Sometimes I like to forget that TI final.
Oh man, I fear for Optic right now. There's such that we're casting the next 2 games on this stream featuring this team. They have a lot of games to play, and I really think you just stick to your bread and butter.
Zai's in trouble as Faith puts up the kinetic field. Took a little bit longer for Faith to actually get that up, so Zai will have the distance, but Karka,
but not the speed.
Come on, you can't run the same joke all the time. You got to switch it up, bro.
I mean, there's an invis, but they saw him on the sentry, right? Yeah, they definitely did. They have a ward there as well. Yeah. So they know something's going down. You can see by their positioning they're not going to get caught off guard here.
Oh, yeah. They just don't have the mana. The problem is, like this entire safe tri lane for Newbie has been fighting so heavily that they just don't have the consumables left anymore. Like, Mugi has 9 1 charges, so at least he has that. Karka's got 5. It's enough for a Riptide and an Ensnare. Faith. Actually, they're good enough for a combination. Yeah, they're good enough. God, KP's being such a nuisance up on top, too. Yep. Pycat can't stop him from pulling and then just using the creep wave to farm.
Yep. It's really strong to do as an offlaner whenever you're in a 1v1. You just
33, they're going on bottom lane. Karka, he's still got those stick charges available. It's a nice impale from Zai, getting a double stun. And then the Burrow Strike up with a Rocket Barrage. Zai, MPPD, they even got the flat cannon damage. Zai wants the distance, and he's got it back underneath the tier 1 tower. Now, man, you've made distance my buzzword now. Damn you.
I wasn't going to comment.
You're just going to snigger. That's all.
The issue is Newbie contesting 3-0 up already, but more importantly, they're contesting 3 lanes, and Optic's really only present in 2. The bottom lane, there's 3 heroes here, but they've got 14 CS on their 2-3 heroes, or 4 heroes at this point, and they can't really do much. There's an Aquila advantage on the Gyro, and he's level 5.
Here comes your ensnare. They're looking towards PPD. This time the wall goes up very early, but 33's Burrow Strike has kept Mookie out of play, but even with that, PPD did not stand a chance. Kaka wants to stay on the front lines. He got Riptide off cooldown in just a second. Same with the ensnare. Gets double on the Riptide. So very low armor. -1 on 33. That flat cannon turns on and everyone starts getting hit. Zai will spike. Carapace stun return. Yeah. And Optic will live for a little bit longer.
Bear in mind, Mugi has a 17 stick, Kaka with a 10 stick. So they're way stronger in this lane than their HP totals might make you think.
And Nyx Assassin, like, you look at the CS difference. 3 players from Newbie have managed to pick up a hell of a lot of CS. Only 2 players from Optic. This Nyx Assassin is 8-4. The SK is 8-0. I know we don't know exactly which one's actually the core in this game, but you combine them together as 16 and they still don't make the 3rd on the list of Newbie.
The problem is I don't know if Optic knows which is the core either.
Great Observer Ward scouts out this rotation of PPD and Zai towards the mid lane. So SDCC on the end of the Metamorphosis will back up. A lot of 1 charges. I'm waiting for the TP support. KP is probably thinking about it, but he needs his level 6 first. Kaka's just walking underneath a dire Observer Ward, and that courier is just going to follow him straight over. So Kaka, he plans down his own Observer Ward rather aggressively, and this should be a very dead Naga Siren. Actually, maybe not. He's got 14 1 charges. If he pops this before the Maledict pop, maybe he doesn't take as much damage. Faith is in the neighborhood. Now they decide to turn and snare onto PPD. And Space, the wall. Such great play from Faith. He is the ultimate CC master. Even bringing PPD so low, the Kaka turns around to keep fighting. Goes for the Riptide, and PPD will use his combo once more. The glimpse back over Zai. PPD, he is so low. The Orb Event, the Flak Cannon from Moogie. He'll take a double kill out of all of it. And Optic Gaming, you say they were potentially tilted after the first game and being dropped down because of their loss earlier today. But that is going to be salt in the very open wound.
Yeah, the bright spot is Pycat is winning this top lane handily. And DK, while it doesn't scale too well, if you have a start like this, he already has a drums up. He will eventually do a ton of damage, but I want to see him go like some sort of Armlet or Shadowblade build, because I don't think you can afford to go this like Blink, BKB, DK in this sort of game. I think you'll fall off way too fast.
Middle lane is coming for Optic. Zai and PPD smoked up. They are going to rotate a little bit further north, so maybe they're looking to get KP. A bit of a dangerous situation, and actually the Shrine's not available for him. It just got burnt. So the aggressive vision gives them all the information they require, knowing KP's behind the tower, so Dragon Tail stun, Pycat's looking for the timing. Orb already committed by KP. TP support is coming in, but it's going to be way too late and even gets cancelled. Understanding that with Optic's rotation through the east, that a ward would definitely be up as SDCC turns on the reflection. He just swapped his life with CCNC. At 11 1 charges versus 0 1 charges. I don't think anyone's going to get a kill out of any of this. No, without Metamorphosis ready.
Yep.
Or without wanting to commit Metamorphosis, I should say. But Tier 1 tower belongs to Optic on top.
Just keep in mind that while the laning phase is relatively even, Newbie is playing the Naga Disruptor, and at a certain point, like, it's so easy for them to take that one fight.
KP. Silence. He can potentially Dream Call. PPD is near here, and there goes your Dream Call. 33 caught in it, a 3-man hit. But where's the follow-up? They're all just taking the stuns. Here comes Fate. The follow-up is there, glimpsing back 33 into the kinetic field. So Optic. And if there was one more hero that was there a little bit earlier, KP potentially could have made that a 2-kill as opposed to just the 1.
Indeed. Meta up for SCCC, so I expect him to start playing this top area. KP looking for the bounty, he'll find it. And I'm just...
Oh, KP. That's a little aggressive to draw into. I think he was coming for the 10-minute bounty rune and didn't realize that Nyx Assassin would be there as well, so bit off a lot more than he could chew.
It's a big kill. Optic needs those sorts of kills, especially on the puck, because puck can control the tempo so
33.
easily ahead.
Wall's going to hold him there. Mugi laying the call down. The last hits the flat cannon go. 33 to Burrow Strike out of the flat cannon. Faith glimpse back off cooldown, but loses the vision in the trees, and 33 cuts through it perfectly. The attack from the tower, dropping Disruptor down to 10 HP. Faith will survive. And now, oh no. He's not in range for flat cannon. That's only a level 1 homing missile, so it's okay.
Pyket's actually so farmed right now. He's going to TP to Shrine. I think they might make a smoke move, or he might just run down. Zai hit 6, so they're ready to go.
A little bit earlier on the Shrine. 33 probably would have liked a little bit more of the regeneration from that. But Drum Charge is up for DK. That's his first item, still with 1,700 gold, so you know the Blink Dagger.
The Song is up, though. Song Disruptor ult, and it's very difficult to play a whole game without standing on top of one other guy.
Mugi's on the run. Stunned up. Chain stunned as well. Impale into Burrow Strike. Mugi needs more life, needs more friends, but he doesn't have a Pycat. Connects with the Breathe Fire, then straight into Dragon Form, beating into the Tier 1 tower. And the trade-off is on top. That's where SDCC is trying to force the tower. No way to reveal 33 from inside of the Sandstorm, which does make it a bit more problematic to get the kill.
Bottom lane, they're going to force the Disruptor off as well. He placed a nice defensive ward, so he knows there's too many heroes for him here to deal with.
Naga's coming top. If he quickly songs, okay, they're going to Sentry. Like if you set up on 33, but you want to hold the song. Bottom lane, underneath the tower, Pycat. They're kind of chasing Faith, but the Dream Coil will catch Pycat. This will turn everything around into the call down of Mugi. He's still holding the flat cannon charges as in comes the jump. KP in between the fight. PPD should be able to kill off Faith, but Faith leaves the Storm behind. PPD leaving everyone behind with the TP barely escaping. The Thunderstrike damage is not enough. And Pycat, not only does he stay alive in the bottom, he'll take the Tier 1 tower. Mugi and the Disruptor both falling for Newbie.
Yeah, Kaka chose to TP top to back up the Terrorblade instead of being there to support his team. I feel like you just trade towers there at a point versus take a fight 3-on-4. And Newbie gets punished hard for that decision.
This actually puts Optic Gaming in the lead as far as experience and gold goes for the first time in the game.
Yeah. And Pycat is going to go Sanjin Yasha. I like this choice. I don't think you want to... You're so far ahead, you want to pick up an item that helps you to scale and deal damage, not just like buy a blink and then be forced to make moves with your team. CCNC going to go for the Diffusal first. They'll have some nice timings on Optic. They're 2K ahead already.
Yep. With the death of all these Tier 1 towers, yeah, those timings got well, accelerated. CCNC still in the mid. Nice phase shift from KP, dodging the lance, so no extra CCNCs easily. But there's 4 heroes from Optic ready to fight. Song of the Siren is still up. They don't have the combination with Storm yet, however. 16 seconds before it comes off cooldown, and because Faith didn't find that Observe Ward inside the Radiant jungle, he's going to get caught out as well. Thought he was safe, was very uncertain about where Optic have vision. And now Kaka, Song of the Siren. But no Disrupt the Storm to follow up, so it's all up to KP. Dream Coil, Silence, that's what they need to get, and they managed to get both of it with the Sentry Ward. Zai is not invis, he thought he was, but it doesn't matter when he can stop the Terrorblade. No Sunder available, the Paralyzing Cask, actually wasn't even that, it was just a Death Ward. Dishing out enough damage. The Newbie once again an unfavorable advantage, and Optic claimed the top 2 spots on the net worth.
I mean, that's 2 fights in a row they just sort of gave away. As soon as your Disruptor dies, you can't fight that anymore. And the TB dies without Sunder. He had no meta up at the time.
He came back up, he throws down the Sentry Wards. Like, how did he know? He definitely knew. The Observe Ward on the hill. They throw down their own, a quick glimpse, gets the vision, but Doppelganger too easy for Phantom Lancer to escape with.
Yeah, that's Triple C. Not on one of his signature heroes. I've only seen him play Terrorblade a couple times. Here's the replay, but as you can see, like, the Disruptor's dead, and now Kaka TPs. He has Song, but, like, you can't actually take that fight.
Well, we're back to live. This time, CCNC getting caught inside that storm. He needs a little bit more life to survive. Doppelganger, he's running north, but Mugi knows exactly where. Into the Fog of War, can't make it. Space creating stun from Zai. Not exactly certain if he's got enough space. They Sentry Ward, and there goes your TP cancel. 2 heroes lost, and Newbie. First time in a while. I say a while, like 5 minutes. They come out on top for a quick little fight, and then into a push. Tier 1 tower.
I'm not quite sure how CC got caught there.
We're both watching the replay too.
But it's just one of those scenarios where Optic falls victim to the sort of thing that Newbie did as well, where they're just taking a fight without their cooldowns. Team isn't really set up, and they get punished for it.
PyCap thinking about the denial of the tower as the catapult's got one more hit, then it's deniable. There it is. SMY finished on PyCat too. Nubia backing up to potentially Shrine and then fight once more. They have smoke available and Storm's off cooldown in 30 seconds time, so okay, they're not fully ready to fight.
Yeah, and if you're a newbie, what you want to do is the next time you have Song Disruptor ult up, you look to kill the Nyx +1. That's your ideal target, because if you can Static Storm him on top, he won't be able to get his Carapace off, and then Puck, Gyro, they don't fear this stun into stun that's been just killing them from 100 to 0 this whole game. The DK, you kind of have to ignore. He's going to do a lot of damage, and you can kill him with magic, but at the same time, if his Nyx and Sand King are free to use their spells, they're going to disrupt you, and you'll probably all die.
The Sand King can actually be very free. He's picked up a Blink Dagger. That's why this smoke maneuver from Optic is just so good. As long as they can stay out of vision. They're right underneath the Radiant Obs and Sentry. That is a Terrorblade just sitting down there. The stun will connect. They'll have to fight underneath the Tier 3 tower. And then the Death Ward. KP tried to help out with the Dream Call as well as the Storm. They actually have that help. Zeiss trying to tank it. He didn't want to actually break it. Okay, Faith, yeah, that was the wrong ability. He put a smoke down instead of the Sentry. He still gets both, and then the Glimpse back. So 33 will still die for it. Bit of a waste of the smoke. Those things are rare. And Optic Gaming getting very aggressive to keep the Terrorblade down.
That's the sort of thing, though. Newbie's ability to respond and punish is so high. You got to be very careful with moves like that. I think it's still pretty much worth, because TB is the carry for Newbie. And while Mugi's Gyro is quite strong, like, you need the TB's damage.
Both teams can Sentry and get rid of the Observer Wards. That's a PL Diffusal Blade coming in on the Courier right now, so it's going to be here for this fight. PyCat getting glimpsed back in, but they actually want to fight now Optic. They have the advantage, even though they are underneath the Radiant Shrine. You get the Ensnare off, you want the PL to start creating more and more of himself, but then the Reflection turns on from the Terrorblade. Optic is absolutely chaos. But they found the kill already onto the Naga Siren. Follow up into Disruptor. Still no Storm available from Newbie. This is why Optic wanted to fight, because that big control factor from Newbie. They locked down the Naga to start with, and then they knew there would be no follow-up from Disruptor.
Yep. They have the Blink Sand King, as you said. The PL gets his Diffusal. It's a great timing for them. And I honestly don't know what Newbie's doing, because their strength has always been in their team fighting and their discipline. And right now, they're just taking fights without their major cooldowns available, and they're getting, I don't want to even call it greedy, it's just sloppy. Like, they cannot win that fight.
But still, they try. Maybe they just don't understand the timing of Optic, just how quick it's been. Feeling the underwhelming, or feeling that the PL and the DK could be underwhelming. But now they have to wake up, understand what's going on. The DK is going to have a Blink initiation pretty soon. Especially if things keep going this way. CCNC, like, he only just got his Diffusal Blade at the start of that fight. He's got another 1,500 gold, and it looks like he's going to go in for a Yasha too. So, Manta-style potential creation. That way there's no silence control. In fact, there's almost no control with the timings.
PyCat also playing very well this game. 5-0-4, top net worth in the game by a pretty decent margin. I think he's been the standout player at the tournament even for me. Like, a big part of pretty much every game that Optic wins, and even though he's not one of his traditional carry heroes, he's making Dragon Knight look like one.
And finding that groove and then just having the rest of his team stick with him. Zaya's giving more information as well. Just trying to stalk as closely as he can the newbie players. Faith was having a look himself, putting down a Sentry Ward in front of Roshan. Thanks to the pressure from KP on the bottom lane, that Tier 1 tower's taking damage. CCNC will have to go down to fix it up. But there's that position we're talking about from Zai. Information, goodbye Faith. He was just trying to establish some defensive vision for newbie.
As a general rule, playing support, when in doubt, stand on a high ground somewhere. You never know who might just walk into you. Also, I'm still just so unsure about what newbies done so far as like their game plan, because I still think their late game is insane. They need this one fight and then they have a Terrorblade Gyro, but they will find Zai.
Yeah, underneath that Sentry Ward, they even dewarded his obs. SDCC wants to keep that battle going, needs a little bit more damage. Zai, the one charge has kept him up and he'll get over the hill and far, far away.
They pop meta for that now, so once again, there's going to be a cooldown down for newbie if they want to take another fight.
You see Optic grouping up, like they know, like where's the... They don't have smoke available. So they're not going to keep fighting.
BKB soon on the gyrocopter. It's going to be a necessary item for them to have any chance of winning a team fight. And then he cannot fear like this Carapace into stun combo
PPD's
anymore.
walking underneath the sentry ward. He doesn't know. They drop a secondary one, so ensnare, control, but the Burrow Strike! 33 in the follow-up double impel. As you said, it's a perma stun. Even the Spike Carapace being used to slow down Mugi. He threw the call down, and now they can follow up, and 2 turns to 3. Optic Gaming, this may be a ticket to go up. They've got a creep wave on the way. It's not there just yet. Which means backdoor regeneration will protect Newbie for the moment, but 33 is prepared. He's in the tree lines with a level 2 epicenter brewing. Ready for the jump. If he can hit KP, you know Optic will fully jump to this. And there's the epicenter into the back lines going up to KP. The storm is down. Nice phase shift from KP, dodging the brief fire of Pycat. Fireback is there from the gyrocopter. 33 needs more distance, but the homing missile's coming his way. Sentry ward planted. Can't hide, and just get the double Burrow Strike. That'll work. They take the tier 3 tower 21 minutes in as Optic are in full retreat.
No meta still on SCC.
Zai's waiting. KP, okay. Blinks up into Optic.
Pycat now suddenly 3.5k gold. I'm sure he'll skip the blink and maybe even just rush for a BKB. Because that is like the main counter to this Naga Song Disruptor combo, where he just BKBs out of it and stuns whoever he wants. Gyro buys back, so his BKB is still 500 gold away. And if you're Optic, I think you just take a Shrine, maybe even look to Roche right after.
Zai's in trouble. Try and just outrun them for the moment. KP's right behind him. He's going to Dream Call. Zai sits up on the hill. Sentry ward is down. They'll take the stun. Spike Carapace returning into 2 of them. Zai does his own stun. It's the one who can glimpse him back. But too much damage to complete his TP. And you were right. He bought the full BKB Pycat now.
Somebody's got to buy Dust on Newbie just to stop having to place all these sentries constantly.
Faith. Paralyzing Cask. Pycat gets rid of the Observer ward first. And then a double damage rune in the hands of Naga. Okay, yep, cool.
The vision up by Optic right now is really good. They have this one ward in the base that's going to be sick if they ever try to fight in tier 3 again. This other one that sees a little bit of the shrine in this top lane. It's just perfect to set up for around Roche. They even have one outside the Roche pit.
I actually can't believe how many sentries are in this mid lane.
They just need to buy some Dust.
That's 6 sentries currently on the map for Newbie. That's a lot. That's a lot of money for supports to burn when their net worth is already not that great. Like Disruptor sitting at 1.8k right now. Song of the Siren. They need to bring down DK. He's got that BKB. Disruptor, Wallstorm. Currently, nothing. They just songed, and then Pycat will BKB and kill off that poor little Naga Siren. This is a page which I don't even know what book it's in. Like, they were not on that page.
Did they not click him and see the BKB?
No. That's yeah, disconnection. It's that's called Carlay play. Now for Roshan Newbie, they're in a hard position. You don't have the Naga Siren. Faith can just now he'll wall, but they blink and they jump so quickly. You can turn on the reflection. Disruptor cannot get the ulti up. The Dream Call is nice. Pycat does not have this BKB to sit in there and protect, and they're going to lose to Optic. They're getting the damage in. CCNC will finally arrive.
Epi.
Yep, Epicenter. They need the Burrow Strike. It'll connect, but you already got the Sunder off. SCCNC will go down, but Mugi with the flat cannon, with the vision, he's already got himself a triple kill. But this fight going a lot better for Newbie, mainly thanks to the fact that there was no BKB on the DK.
It was a huge kill for them. Mugi got that one as well, right? Because the streak gold on Pycat was quite high. 9 streak at the time.
It was 913. Mugi claimed the kill. He also claimed the kill on Zai and 33. CCNC got back to SCCC.
And it looks like he's going to be going for this Ags Maelstrom build. I've seen a lot of Gyros go this against PL, and I think it's the right choice. He already has the Maelstrom queued up. I'm sure it'll be an Ags after. And as you can see, this BKB timing on Mugi is the big game changer for their lineup, really. As you can see, like no BKB, they immediately just focus down Pycat, the Terrorblade just doing oodles of damage. He gets stunned, super earned. I think he did he sunder a little early?
I
don't know if I like the sunder there. If maybe he saves it a little bit longer, he can live, but then they just epi him on top, he goes down. But Mugi cleans up, so I mean, they have the late game still. They do have the stronger cores, and the support combo will at some point, I think, land a song Disruptor on combo. Eventually, it's newbie. They invented this.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it's been banned down so much that it's like, wait, it's a little rusty. It's like getting back on a bike. You'll fall down and skin your knee a couple of times, but don't worry, you'll get back into it. 33, KP looking to jump in, gets the two-man Dream Coil. This is more of a defensive play. Newbie maybe feeling this pressure of Optic Gaming. This time there is the BKB on PyCat, so they do not want to have a crack at him.
Yeah, the one downside of Optic's lineup is that they have 3 supports in this style. Like the SK Nyx are both not really that scaled at the moment. They're really relying on DK or PL to carry them in. PL at the moment dies very easily to this Song combo. He is the target.
Just going to point out the fact that SDCC is so far away from base and his TP's on cooldown for another 22 seconds.
So is his
and
meta,
they
though.
have to use Fortification to buy some time. But he's all... Like, if he can just get a little bit more space, he can complete the BKB before the fight. But it means that Optic need to be held off this Tier 2 tower, which so far is working. They are holding him back. The illusions are cleaning up the bottom lane. SCCC's been very, very efficient. And Optic would love to force an issue, but they just haven't found an opening just yet. They take the Tier 2 tower instead. And maybe now it's time to return. Newbie are coming out of their base looking for a fight. Remember, they will not have SDCC with them.
I get the glimpse here.
Smoke up. They are well far away, and now the TP's come to the bottom lane. The Tier 1 tower's one catapult hit away from death. Time it. Time it. Timed. SDCC gets the money. And now he's just a recipe away from a BKB.
It was really well played by Kaka there, scouting with the Naga illusions, trying to set up for the glimpse. It just unfortunately couldn't get out of range, and a nice counterplay from Optic to smoke away. Blink on PyCat.
Yeah, Blink was on PyCat, and he looked at Kaka, but it looked too good. The rest of Kaka's team was actually a little bit further away.
The BKB Terrorblade is Newbie's go time. And this next fight is really going to decide everything. Optic's still in the lead, but it's only 3,000. They haven't been able to kill Shrines yet, even though they took the Tier 3 about 7 minutes ago. And Roche is everything in this sort of game.
I think at this point, too, Optic are just respecting the team fight that is Newbies. Like, they know the same thing as you said. Like, if this combination hits, they're going to get in trouble. So they have to be careful about it. Yeah. Luckily for them, it's not like an Aghanims disruptor, so they can still BKB and get away to freedom, but it's more problems for heroes like PL, who's still working on his BKB.
It's just such a good game thus far. I mean, both teams have made a bunch of errors, but at this point, game pretty even. You can see the comparison between SCCC and CCNC. It's like hard to say both of their names at once.
A lot of C's. I can see why you have trouble.
Good lord, it's like casting with my grandmother.
Grandfather, please.
No, his jokes were better.
Wow. Just wow.
I don't know. This Ags on Gyro is going to make a difference. Like I think that his item acceleration with this build is just like a lot smoother. I'm glad he's going for this instead of like a butterfly or something, which is your traditional PL counter. But since they don't really have that much illusion clear, I think this is a better choice. As you mentioned, the Disruptor Ags, that's a dream item, of course. And if we were to pick that up, I think that's like actually a super key item here.
Dream is the critical word in that. Like, he's died 7 times in this game. Faith has been limping in net worth. He's not even over 2,000. PPD, the man who was the ultimate sacrifice, has 2,000 more net worth than him.
If they're about to smoke, there's no Optic Vision in this area, and the scan is on cooldown. So this is the go time. They're disciplined. They check the high ground just in case.
Yeah, she just picked up the one Observer Warden 2 sentries onto PPD, so Optic will at one point try and regain that control. As the line is being drawn, that line's actually being drawn down by CCNC. Either that's a cut this line around the front of Roshan so we can actually do this, or it's a we're going in here to try and fight. That's exactly what they are doing.
So
4-man
risky.
smoke up. CCNC is the man who's playing the bait on the front lines.
They're ready for this. There's Sentry down.
There's so many copies. He actually just used his Doppelganger a little bit early to create more copies. 33 gets the Burrow Strike off on SCCC. Can they kill him in time? Song of the Siren. The reset with the Death Wall from PPD. It's reaching him. SCCC needs to trade life, and he does it with PyCat. After BKB was up, not what PyCat wanted. He needs more life. He needs more space, and it's being created in the back lines. Maybe with Mugi's attack. No, he still can't do it. PyCat's in the trees and far, far away. PPD is just too delicious to pass up, so Mugi will Rocket Barrage and Flat Cat add a little bit more. There's a 1-for-1 trade-off. All these huge abilities and all these supports have died. Now you can get your reflection up, but Zai back into the mix. How can he get these stuns off? Epicenter from 33 is a little bit short. Mugi still holding his ground, but SCCC is bone dry, out of mana. The orb from KP will clean up Playcap, but the double stun holds them there. 33 playing an insane fight, but he can't live forever. He'll finally go down in death. The reflection, SCCC can claim him.
Wow.
And Newbie want to disengage. They're all so low with the buyback from DK. Financially, they're going to come out on top in this.
They need Roche off that buyback, though, or they're going to be super behind. They let go of the song a little early. I think there was a bit panicked because they thought they had to Sunder to survive the Maledict tick, and they might have been right. 3-3 played an incredible fight, but Mugi and Kaka just ran circles around the entire Optic lineup there.
KP scouted out the fact that Roshan's going on. They can use Naga illusions to see inside the pit, and they're not going to get Roshan. Optic, they understand this. They're backing off before things escalate.
It's a hard game. That's a huge buyback to force out there. Optic are going to have to rely on CCNC a lot in this game. He has a BKB to go with that Sanjin Yasha, and he needs to play near flawlessly to win a fight. He needs to take out a support and then a core, and it's just going to be difficult. The Ags almost finished on Mugi, and then his damage output is going to nearly double.
This confidence, Zai, he jumped in. The Observer Sentry was there, but when the jump came, KP just reacted so beautifully, they glimpse him back. The Observer was higher, and Mugi, the position with the reflection. This Black Cannon's going to hit hard, but CCNC, BKB protecting him up, allowing him to keep on fighting the Dead Dwarf from PPD with a high ground advantage. This is Newbie needing some distance. CCNC is still in the middle of the fight. He can't really steal that much damage, that much life with the Sunder, and now it isolates Kaka too. He goes Invis, the Glimmer Cape will protect him. KP becomes the new target. Same with Mugi. He moves up, but CCNC, he's claimed 2 so far. We'll look for the 3rd. KP can't get the phase shift after Blink. Dragon Tail Stun from Pycat is right on the money. Now they can claim Roshan. Unless Faith as well as Kaka want to do something real YOLO. But that won't happen.
Why in the world is Newbie taking a fight with Vision on both hills and an active shrine with no song and no meta?
I don't know.
They know this is coming, and they fight into this new PLBKB, and they're getting it's like the 3rd time this game. They think they have an opening to make something happen, and they just don't need to. They're the team that scales better.
Yep. They were pulling that advantage back. At one point, it was 7,000, 6.5 grand going the way of Optic Gaming. It kicks back up again, but now it's going to go back the other direction. We're yo-yoing this game at the moment. Yeah, let's see it again. So they had the vision, as you said, on both of the hills, and then this glimpse initiation. They commit the ultimate to kill off Zai.
And it works, but like they don't have the damage output the moment they have no meta. So they get the kills on the Nyx and the Sand King, but the PL's running rampant through like all of their lines, and then all of a sudden his illusions are just out of control. They see, like here they can just cut and run. Ditch the Terrorblade, it's going to be fine. But the moment Gyro commits, Mugi puts himself really out of position. Kaka dies, Mugi dies, and then later KP is going to die as well.
Yep. They just tried to commit to get in there and salvage what was a bad situation. Even in the middle of it, I think Mugi, actually no, that was the end when he went back, when he went to death. He got his Aghanim Scepter.
It's really more about the Roche than anything else. The team fight would be fine, but Roche is the objective, and that's why that fight doesn't make sense. It's okay to take that if Roche isn't in play, but the moment you give that up, you not only lose the fight, you give away Aegis, and it means Optic can finally clear the shrines.
All right, just a quick update as well if you want to keep up to date with the tiebreakers. Team Liquid. It gets worse for them, but it gets great for TNC. They now go 3-0 in the tiebreaker. I believe that pretty much will secure them a position through. I will double check it. I'm hearing a yay from in my ear from production, but yeah, that's TNC with 3-0 and Liquid 0-2. Who would believe it? The guys who looked like at the start of the day, both Optic and Liquid, were the ones that just needed to win one game to secure that quarterfinal position. And now both of them are in a world of hurt. Only 2 spots available out of this tiebreaker to get into the top.
Game completely even right now, with the exception of Optic having that Aegis for another 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Pycat finishing an MKB, so that Talisman of Evasion on Terrorblade is going to be ineffective.
Here they come. Smoke will break, and they jump in through the bottom lane. CCNC looking for a nice target. Right now, he's just making more CCNCs. Fortification has to be burnt by Newbie. You've got KP causing some pressure up on top lane. This tier 3 tower is down to half life, but Optic know what they can get in return. It's a full lane of racks on the bottom. Newbie just don't want to fight. Maybe Kaka can get this Song of the Siren. Everyone's so close, but Kaka also insanely close. He was right on top of Optic. They get caught in the storm, but they take minimal to no damage. Where is the fight? Where is the team? Where is Newbie?
Bottom lane, 3-3 is chasing the Terrorblade. He cannot get back to base.
He can't get back. He doesn't have a TP available. SCCNC's out of this fight. So is the Disruptor. This could be the game right now. You're going to lose 2 full lanes of ranks. SCCNC is still moving back. Zion's going to move into intercept position. Pycap. Okay, the BKB has already been burned. CCNC copying a lot of damage to Mugi. He's actually going to go down, but both of them go down. No buyback for one, Aegis for the other. Optic very happy with his trade. Finally, the Terrorblade has returned to his base, or what remains of it. Have we actually got like a full, like what was it from 33? Like how
chased
the hell? He just stunned him
all the
and
way from
interrupted.
bottom lane back to the base. He ended up dying near the outskirts of the Radiant base, but he stunned him at least 4 times, Yulzed him twice, just preventing him from getting away. And at a point, like they just, and as you can see, Optic, he's obviously communicating, and Optic just dive for the base. They get 2 racks, so a huge win for them. Like, Newbie is like a top 4 team in the world right now, and I am so befuddled watching some of the decision making. Like I feel like they feel this pressure when they just don't need to feel bad. Butterfly finished on TB. Mugi did go down. I mean, still not the end of the world for them, but I mean that was an even game that is suddenly no longer even close to even.
Yeah. It's the impact of the mid and the bottom lane now, which Newbie is going to have a very hard time dealing with. This isn't like the one position Snagas, who's got Radiance is sending illusions out and just pushing the waves back all the time. And Terrorblade, like at least they can slow down the push when they're all there. Glimpse onto CCNC, but Doppelganger is just way too good. Picks him up, throws him back. And Newbie are really intimidated to use their ultimates. Okay, PPD. Homing missile will let them follow the right target and snare down, and they got him.
Yep.
73 seconds without the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, Butterfly finished on PL. I also really like CCNC's choice to get the BKB third item. That's why they can't use ults on him. He's no longer afraid of the Song combo, and even Disruptor is questioning, okay, do I ult him, do I not ult him? So he gets the kinetic field down, but then he can just doppel out.
Yeah. At least Newbie have more defense. You saw KP putting that Lincoln Sphere onto Mugi to protect him so he can be that front line attacker, as he said, the Aghanim's Maelstrom. We go full Lightning Storm kind of style for the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, Dragon Knight almost finishing a Satanic. Pycat's about to be 6-slotted.
Can they even kill him then? Like he's already having a base regeneration of 39, actually it's 40, it's 40. 40 HP a second. Now you add a Satanic to the mix. It's now 44.3 without it turned on for the lifesteal. And they're coming in through top. Where is Newbie? They're all not home yet. Okay, now the TPs are beginning. It's like they thought Optic wouldn't push the final lane of racks while Witch Doctor is down. And maybe they're not. In fact, maybe they just rotate in to catch out Newbie, who are coming back from the jungle. They were underneath the Dire Observer Ward, so Optic had all the information they required.
No buyback.
And now no buyback on a Naga Siren, who's meant to be your primary CC.
I mean, that could just be game.
It may be. Pycat gets the jump in, over towards Mugi. The Dream Call is nice. A quick interruption. Gyrocopter, he has to buy back. There's no other choice. If they lose this lane of racks, it's good as game. SK caught inside the storm as he jumped in, so 33. He'll buy back as well, trying to rejoin the fight. Pycat's BKB now going to wear off. The tier 3 tower is still up. They get the glimpse. Pycat falls into a horrible situation as SCCC sunders off his life. That's a huge kill for them, and they may get more. After CCNC, without these BKBs, without the shield protection, Optic Gaming are in trouble. KP's watching the back line. Zai trying to create more space, but this could be a dieback from him. SCCC has the damage available, and they do find it. Then to PPD. Moving west, KP will focus on him. The rest of Optic are already out, and they glimpse him back down again. And goodbye, PPD. The top lane of racks remains intact. Optic losing big heroes. And how much did it cost as far as the buybacks go? You had one on the Gyrocopter versus the SK buyback of Optic.
Yeah. they also recover the gem, which is a huge swing for them, and it'll allow them to control vision before this next Roche comes up. So they are 2 racks down, but Optic is always like the way of the Dota right now, especially. Oh, we're gonna replay.
Yeah, we can watch this whole fight once again. So the Dream Call interrupted a little bit, but having the Gyrocopter being able to get back up onto the field once the BKBs are gone, that's it's something which you could buy an advantage for.
And it's just when these BKBs go down, all of a sudden Optic is in trouble, and you can see the Satanic down, and then the Glimpse Pike in, boom, Sunder, and he just dies to this Gyrocopter who's now respawned. Well, not respawned, but brought back. And this is the strength of this lineup, where they really just need one fight. And this next Roche, the 3rd Roche, that's the game changer.
Yeah, that's when we start looking into Refresher Shard as well.
Is it the 3rd Roche? I think I might be wrong.
Roshan's going to
Second
respawn
Roche.
in 1 second time. There it is. He is up. This is 2nd Roshan.
Yeah, 2nd Roche. Okay,
It
sorry.
feels like it's been a long day. Yeah, this is 2nd. No Refresher Shard yet. We're 41 minutes in. Considering the speed we've had over the tournament, it's,
Dude.
yeah, could have been the 3rd.
This is the game right here. It's always the 2nd Roche, it feels.
Is this going to be the first time, too, when Newbie can actually... Like, then again, they can't get the combination off, but maybe they can at least get the combination into the back lines. But I feel like Faith needs to be able to survive with his combo intact. But how does Newbie... Okay, so maybe we take it from this angle. How does Newbie bait the BKBs of Optic and get out without losing a fight? How is this possible?
Well, you want to use the Lincolns on one of your cores. If you can trade BKBs on Newbie, you're happy with that. It is always going to be worth it, specifically on the PL. Because once his BKB is down, he'll just explode to the magic damage that Newbie can offer. But it's how do they bait these BKBs, and that's the key. Newbie needs a longer fight with a couple of resets. If they don't get that, if Optic can just land a stun into another stun and another stun as they did in the base just then, that's going to be the game. All they need to do is kill Gyro. That'll open up the game for them to take that 3rd rack.
CCNC will have a little bit of a better option in the fight. He won't just explode if he can back out, having that heart, having that regeneration, and now also having the Arcane Rune. They can get in on this fight. So CCNC runs forward. The Burrow Strike! 33 hit the mark perfectly. The Storm from Faith, massively ineffective. SCCC, he needs to be able to sunder anybody, and he got Pycat. They Lincolns him up, and more SCCCs. How much has he really got? PPD's letting it rip, and here comes your Rev Center from 33. The damage is there! A triple kill for the PL, and well played by Pycat. It has to come out from Newbie to make this game official. Disruptor will buy back, but no Gyrocopter, no Terrorblade. It really should be the game. It's an all for nothing now. KP's even just buying straight up level 3 Dagon. Any kind of surprise pop to create time or space.
That was a DD Pycat. That was what allowed him to heal through the damage as he Satanicked. Otherwise, he may have gone down, but instead actually just crushing the Terrorblade. I think he even got some of the splash damage onto the Gyro as CCNC teamed him up as well. That was a level 25 timing as well in the PL.
Good game, well played. Newbie understand there is no coming back from this. Optic Gaming able to claim their first win in this tiebreaker, and Newbie will actually join Team Liquid at 0-2 at the bottom of this tiebreaker.
It feels like fatigue might be playing a part in this game. I felt like both teams have played better, not just today, but throughout this tournament. And Optic's got a long day still ahead of them. They're still very much in the running to qualify, but it's going to be a long road.
It will be. It will be. Only 2 spots are available. We've got to keep this in mind because the guys who can tell you how it could all potentially unfold after TNC's victory as well is our panel. Red Eye, what do you guys think of the game as well?
Yeah, not the cleanest of games, was it? Not pretty Dota at times, but it is a win nevertheless, and they'll take it regardless. Optic do pick up their first win in this tiebreaker group stage. As Toby said, Newbie have dropped to 0-2, and in the other match, TNC have beaten Liquid to go 3-0 in the groups, which means they are almost certain of going through in the top 2, which would mirror the other group where their other SEA brothers, Meneskiv, also managed to make it through the group in the top 2. Extraordinary scenes so far, and still plenty more to go. Let's get a breakdown with our 3 panel members. We're back with Blitz, Cap, and Jack on the panel. Bit messy from time to time, a few mistakes here and there. Kind of picking up what Kyle said, maybe a little bit of fatigue setting in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that neither one of these teams is going to be super happy with their performance, but at the end of the day, it is going to be Newbie who are a bit more disappointed. I think Newbie honestly just had a hard time being able to evaluate the strength of some of the team fighting early on. I feel like that's part of the reason that they ended up going down into an early Optic lead, was because of the fact that they just couldn't keep themselves away from those Radiant jungle fights. And they're like maybe they didn't realize just how strong this carry Dragonite is going to be in those early team fights. Around those 20-25 minutes, that carry Dragonite is going to be one of the strongest forces on the map, and Newbie just kept on getting into team fights with him.
Yeah, the Dragonite got off to a really good start this game, and as a result, like you said, Cap, I think they underestimated him a little bit. They got roped into some really bad fights into the jungle, committing ults into reinitiating onto the Dragonite, and he kind of just laughed it off, and the rest of Newbie just got picked apart because they don't have the most durable lineup, so they have to be really careful with these fights. I think that put them on the back foot. And then something we've seen from Newbie a few times today, some mistakes, I would say, defending high ground. I would say mid getting picked off, kind of losing those racks. Obviously, SCCC was unable to make it back home in time because 33 caught him and basically just stunned him non-stop on his way back home. And then that happened earlier in the game against Liquid as well, where Newbie kind of just chain-fed into a lost rack. So some details that Newbie usually handles pretty well being done a little bit sloppily. That plus, like you said, their early game deficit, and they weren't able to overcome that down the stretch.
And I would say this last team fight really shows the strength of the initiation from Optic Gaming, where they have these kind of hard initiation stuns early on. It's the Blink Dagger Sand King. It's also going to be the Blink In from the Dragonite. He provides this hard disable, and it's hard to be able to focus down because of the early farm he got. He was like 6K, while everyone else was at like that 4K on the side of the newbie cores. And then the follow-up from the Nyx Assassin. They had these kind of really hard initiations. Meanwhile, if you look at the newbie side, every single time they tried to initiate the fight, it wasn't that kind of clear attention because it's a puck jumping in and getting your Dream Coil. It's a momentary stun, and you usually are not going to be able to force out that Dream Coil pop just because Optic Gaming was already ahead in the first place, so they could stand and fight.
Great game from Pycat, 11-4 and 17. But the one I want to highlight on the scoreboard is a man who's been getting a lot of stick in the team. Often has his lane sacked as well. Is CCNC, 13-1 and 7 on the PL.
Yeah, he was absolutely dominant. He had a very free PL game too in this game. I thought once he got BKB, it was going to be a pretty easy go of it. I know you guys said that you were worried about like the Naga sleep into Disruptor ulti, but if you look at Newbie's lineup, I don't see how they win this when it comes to team fighting. Every single one of Newbie's or Optics heroes have either a stun or a slow. They have constant team fight. They can always recommit. I guess like once PL gets a BKB, what's like there's no real answer for him.
And they still have like reflection and that sort of thing. I think the later that game goes, the newbie would be able to overtake that at some point with like maybe the combination of both the Gyrocopter and the Terrorblade.
Yeah, but how got to go very late.
How are you supposed to win like the mid game fights? Like CCNC got 6 slotted so fast. You're Gyrocopter. You're not going to fight against a hard PL. And this is the one thing that you know is there's a time period where heroes like Leshrac and Gyrocopter are supposed to be very good against PL. Once the PL gets a heart, it's impossible for those heroes to play. Because your flat cannon just doesn't do enough. This guy disengages with Doppelgang. Like, that's what the pros know about the matchup. That's why Complexity as well. I think Kyle, like, they ran into a position where they played against, it was LGD, who had a Phantom Lancer, and they had both the Gyrocopter and the Leshrac. But I was watching the game with Sumail. He said, as soon as this PL gets hard, the game's over. They can't play that matchup. It becomes very difficult. Because as a Gyrocopter, you can't focus fire the PL at any point.
Yeah, because it's not about the illusions at that point anymore.
Yes.
So he can actually just stand and right-click you down, especially if he gets that talent with the crit. You actually can't go blow for blow with him.
Right,
anymore.
which is where it comes down to some of those earlier team fights that happen, where newbie just couldn't get themselves away from it.
I think the thing that stood out, because we talked about the first phase Underlord ban, it was like newbie is used to playing this exact composition, but with a tanky frontliner. This time they didn't have that going for them. So you can see that makes the initiations a little bit awkward. Someone just gets picked off or they can't stand their ground during the initiation, then Optic just comes in, and the second wave belongs very clearly to Optic in these fights.
It's also credit to PPD's drafting as well, which we did criticise a little bit and worried about the Disruptor and the Naga being given up, as every other team had been taking it out in the bans. He didn't, and he knew exactly why. Let's check in with the results so far in this tiebreaker, because we've had another couple of results, as I said at the top of the show. TNC have now gone to 3-0 after another win. They're having an absolutely incredible run today. They've won 4 games out of 4. One of the teams who were on the verge of playing to stay in the tournament earlier on today and are now almost assuredly going to finish in the top 2 after taking down Team Liquid. Those are the results so far. These are the tables. TNC with 3-0 right now after 3. They've got one more game. If they win that, they're guaranteed to finish top of this tiebreaker and therefore top of Group A. LGD are 1-0. They play Newbie next on the other stream. That's a PGL_Dota. And Optic Gaming 1-1 right now, whilst Newbie and Liquid are both on 0-2. Liquid are in action next here on the main stream, taking on Optic Gaming. So a massive game for Liquid and for Optic as well.
So the only way TNC with this current score,
Yes.
they don't get first is like a 3-2 tie between 3 times.
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So,
Yeah.
but either way, just like secure yourselves one more game. You're
Yep.
locked in.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's destiny in their own hands. They play LGD last as well, so they'll know by then what they'll have to do and whether they actually even need to win that game. So it's kind of nice for them that they can get a break now. They played 3 back